Is being a furry a mental illness? Especially watching cartoons, being a weeboo, reading, and whatever. Going through the reception, what's more mentally ill than discrimination of furries wanting them to kill themselves, slaughtered, etc. Just because there are adult furries in suits or ones that drawn suggestive art, they come in the Google images and cry their rivers dreaming about them nuked for the hobby or lifestyle they have. There are mindless and very moral furries that abhor these subjects. What is wrong with them? Yes, it technically is in some cases. If you believe that you shouldn't have been born as a human and that you should be a different species, trans species, which many, if not the majority of furries believe, you have a mental disorder known as species dysphoria. It's very similar to gender dysphoria, except that it has to do with species identity instead of gender identity. There are furries out there who don't feel this way, and they just have being a furry as a hobby. If by mental illness you mean aberration from the norm, then yes. It is normal to like football and books about war. It's normal to have an average house with a nice hardwood floor. It's normal to have a job and smoke a Cuban cigar. But sometimes that's just not enough to keep a guy interested. Oh no, he's gotta go out and have fun at a big fuck. After seeing this, you can be the judge. Yes. No, but if you go on TikTok and be a furry, then it is a definite illness. My son, who is gay, is a furry. Is this some sort of cult of some sort? No! The fandom is a family-friendly community. As once said by the Pink Strawberry, a furcon is not a place where your child can turn a corner and get drugs from people, but it is a place where your child can turn a corner to get hugs from a giant fluffy fuck. Yes. Are all furries gay? Allow me to carefully pull out my graph. No, actually, there's some straight, but from what I see, most are gay or bi in this community and has adopted into the LGBT community literally out of nowhere. Hey, yo, some people don't know how to, write, fam.
No, I'm a furry and I ain't gay.
My parents kicked me out because I'm a furry. What can I do? If under 18, seek social services for help in getting you on your feet. If over 18, you can do the same, but also be looking for a better job or second job. Being a furry is part of who you are. It is a lifestyle. But one thing you could do is turn to the fandom. It's a really good network, and I'm sure someone will help you through donations, offering you a better job, or even a place to live. I'm not kidding. If you research Jay, Tiger Claw, a bunch of other furries gave him money for his wedding. When one of our own went missing, there was a global manhunt to find them. Furry Amino, FAA. And Twitter would be a good start if you really do need help.
You freaking idiot. Stop being a furry.
Tell them you're a freelance sports mascot.
Why do people become furries? Is there something legally and morally wrong with that kind of attraction toward animals? Legal and illegal are not of God. People need to wake up. Say fear not, and don't be afraid to people who call me them. Angels of God himself says, we've seen sexual attraction happen. God knows it. Nude is. People fight against it with a cloth idol.
Yes.
People see something that is good, not being of the world, being drawn to it. That is why people become furry. My 18-year-old daughter is obsessed with furry animals. How can I make her get rid of this embarrassing hobby?
The other day I was with my girlfriend and her son, and we went to the public place and one of those furries came up and barked at us. I never seen one of those people in real life and got really angry at first. Calm down over there by my dad. Later on, we saw a whole bunch of them, and they were all in a huge group having a wonderful time getting to know each other. And I realized that they just wanted to belong too.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
That's the whole point of wearing their costumes. They don't feel like they belong. Why is that hobby so embarrassing to you? Does it make you dress up like one? You'd rather someone you love not to be happy because of the costume upsets you that badly? Is it possible that maybe your kid feels like she doesn't belong because you don't care about all of what she's interested in? I don't like furries. It's weird, but I still talk to her about it and support her, and I'm a complete stranger who frankly doesn't give half a damn about her.
She's an 18-year-old woman. Why do you think you should still control her? Are you afraid that she's into alternate sexual?
What?
That is a very popular theme with furry animals. You're attempting to repress your daughter, and she is retaliating by reverting to a behavior that you find childish and embarrassing. She has you right where she wants you. Let it go. It is you who needs to change, and he's probably going to do just fine.
Why? Does she hurt you in any way? If she buys them with her own money, butt out. My daughter loved teddy bears. I bought them for her frequently, and when she graduated from college and wanted to get them from her partner, I had several conditions. She'd take her dog and her teddy bears. She had close to 500. What? How do you fit 500 teddy bears? She took them to a shelter for abused women and children. They were happy to get them. Okay, that's wholesome, but 500? Holy moly. Furry animals are cute as heck. There are much, much, much worse things she could have been doing than obsessing over some furry. You should be grateful she isn't obsessed with dealing drugs or something illegal. Cause yeah, that's the perfect example for this case. Why is it embarrassing to you? It's something she likes. Why would you care? As long as she keeps them in her space and leave her alone. Can a Christian be a furry? From my point of view, furry intercourse is clearly an eccentric perversion of sex as God intended. If God is sufficient, what need do we have for strange sexual
escapades?
Sexual appetite that yearns for more than traditional intercourse is born out of an insatiable lust that would lead you and your spouse astray. Suggestion that God would celebrate furry intercourse the same way as intimacy in marriage, that seems misguided. Worse, it is a dangerous notion for the future of the church. Such lustful and perverse activities weaken the congregation but also distort the outside world's perception of God's church and in turn the perception of God himself. God damn! It depends what you mean by furry. The Bible nowhere says that it's a sin to dress up in an animal costume, but many furries are themselves sexually attracted to animals or to the costumes. If this is what you mean, then it would fall under the sin of perverse and unnatural lusts. But if you just like to dress up in an animal costume, I would say that's not necessarily sinful, but that's important to be careful. Otherwise, you might nut on your costume or on your dog. If it is something done between a married man and woman, I see little objection if that is how they choose to have fun in the bedroom. However, being a furry involves usually fantasizing about anthropomorphized, what the frick, animals and other beings of which God forbade laying with the scripture, so it's a dangerous game to play. Now, a true Christian does not dress as any form of an animal in order to date, or for social sexual practices. We were created above the animals to pretend to be one in order to procreate is completely wrong. Oh God, please no, not that we don't need Jesus' furries knocking on doors. Just imagine it makes me want to jug a big old bottle of bleach. Do furries get AIDS? Yes, of course. Whenever anyone comes to like an anthropomorphic animal character, HIV will be spontaneously generated within their bloodstream, inflicting AIDS upon the unfortunate victim. I think that's it. Yeah.